everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is about the shittiest books that I've read in 2022 and why you shouldn't read them. Do you like my background? It's Nina and Matthias from Six of Crows. So let's get on with the video. First one is In Debt to the Mafia, and that's by, it should be up here. So, and I rated it 2.5 stars, and I read this in April. The most vivid memory for me is that there was a dog. There was a dog. The mafia guy came in, dropped him off at the kennel and said, look after the dog, to the girl. And she was like, say less, you know, I work at the kennel, I'm gonna look after this dog. And then there's like a huge time jump, and she's been looking after this dog, and he comes back for his dog, and he's a part of the mafia, right? But then the whole story is told in 3 days. 3 days! They're like falling in love. This is crazy stuff. I don't get why they fucking fall in love so fast. The whole span of the book pretty much takes place in 3 days, except for like the first 5% when he's dropping off his dog at the kennel. There is a really great side character story, and I thought that the plot for that person could have gone into another book and it would have been so good. But should I just give spoilers? They killed her off. She was the best villain out there. It was a twist. It was a twist. Like, she was the best friend of the main character girl, and then she betrayed her, and she was having her villain era. Did you guys hear about that? It's actually Pisces, Aquarius, and Libra's villain era coming in next year. So I'm ready. Someone write a book about this side character, because she had so much potential and they just went She was the best part of the book, and that's what happened. Because both of the main characters are mid. The girl, very boring, too sweet for my liking, like, please. And then the guy, who is he? Why did he just come out of bloody nowhere, bring his dog and come back and get his dog a year later? Next book. This one is Winnie's Ruthless by Susan Wright, and I read this in May. I gave it a 2.5 stars. And if you know me, I love Susan Wright. Okay, I love her. Love her. But it is becoming repetitive. So this is the 4th book in the Pride Olympus series, but it's like the late teens, like maybe the 17th, 18th, 19th book in that world. So it's kind of like the same romance stories happening again and again and again. All the books have the same layout, pretty much. You know, this couple's gonna get together. There might be some like problems. They solve it, they get together, but there's like deeper problems going on in the packs, or there's like a pack that they're fighting with, or they're fighting with the humans, blah, 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 blah. And then they almost die, and then they're together. This one did take a little bit of a twisty twist, because it's an age gap. And you know, I'm not a big fan of grooming. No, I'm not, love. I don't know why Susan Wright thought this was like a good idea to do, but what happens in this book is, the whole premise of it is that a 12-year-old girl meets a 22, 23-year-old man, okay? And they're mates. They're mates. And of course he wants to still be a part of her life, but not in like a romantic way, obviously. But once she turns into a 15-year-old girl and she's like growing up, going through puberty, it's a little bit different, isn't it? Because why? Tell me why. Why? Susan Wright had them kiss when she was like 15 or 16. I can't remember. I think it was her 16th birthday. And he kissed her like very, like made out romantically. It was descriptive. Descriptive, love. Do the math, guys. He was like 27 and she was 16. Like, I get the mate thing, but why have it like that? Don't do that. Don't do that. Absolutely not. If you want to do an age gap, wait until they're at least 20, and then you meet him when he's 32. You don't need. There's a lot going on, but like, that was the biggest reason why I gave it a 2.5 stars. I'm surprised I even gave it that. Moving on. Next one is The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. Is it Katie or is it Kate? I read this in June and I gave it a 2.5 stars. And where was the plot? I feel like it had a lot of potential because there was something there. It was sparking, but it needed another like 100 or so pages to really round it back, because the time period really rushed to get to the end. I don't know if the author was kind of like, oh, I can't be bothered finishing this book or like writing anymore. There was so much potential for this to be like a 4-star, but I will say the smut was excellent, and the dragon does have two of those. So, you know, maybe that's for you. Maybe you want to check that out. If you read the blurb and you see the cover of the book, you're going to be like, oh, I know exactly how this is going to play out, and you're going to be correct. You're correct. It does play out exactly how you think it does. Moving on, next book. Next one is Kiss and Tell by Maya Hughes. I read this one in July and gave it a 2.5 stars. Like, I've loved Maya Hughes books, but then again, I've really disliked them in the past as well. So I kind of gave this one a chance. But then I read the rest of the series and it was like 4.5 stars, those books. So this one's just a letdown for the series. It's the first book in this series. And I don't know, it was just really boring. There was no angst at all. And I love angst. There was no chaotic stuff. It was just like a sweet romance. Like, it read like a YA romance, but it was based in college, if you know what I mean. And there was like a couple sexy scenes. This man is a simp from the beginning. And it's just like one of those really boring sports romances, college romances that you probably read like 1 million times. And yeah, this one just was lackluster compared to the other ones that she wrote, because those ones are really good. You guys should check that out. The next one is Broken Play by, it'll be up here, I can't remember her name. So what happens in this book? Our main male character is sleeping with someone, and you're like, okay, they're just sleeping with someone, they're sleeping with their wife, because we already know that like he's married, and he's talking about how much he loves his wife as he's doing it. So we're like, oh, this must be his wife. Next chapter happens, it's now her point of view, and she's walking in on him doing the deed with someone else. Excuse me. He's saying the most lovey-dovey things in the first chapter. It's like, I've been in love with this girl forever. Like, she's my only love. Like, I'll only ever love her.
Sir, that is not your wife.
And he knows it. So she sees him. She runs away. She's like, oh my God, like, I can't believe this. Just want to let you guys know, this is her brother's best friend as well. And her brother is peeved off. Like, there's no way you have done this to my sister. But she's kind of lenient about it. They do separate and she's like, no, I'm better than this. I'm not going to be with a cheater. And then he just like keeps showing up everywhere she is and asks for her to take him back because he's in love with her. She's like, sir, maybe. She's going to take him back, isn't she? And because we're getting both of their POVs. Like, this can't not happen. But then she meets another guy who she's kind of like, lodacious. I don't know whether I hate this book or I love it, because it's kind of just the main character finding herself. She's finding herself again after being married and being in love with this one guy for her whole life. And she meets this other guy, Noah, and they kind of start like flirtatious. Her husband gets so angry, love, so angry. And then they end up kind of reconciling. And then, spoiler alert, Noah, the guy that she was like flirtatious with, her husband and her have a threesome. So, and why did I think that the guys liked each other more than Noah liked him more? Girl, I mean, like, live, laugh, love, but what's going on? Because I know who Noah ends up with, because there's a second book, guys. There's a second book. I was gonna read it. Like, I started, like, I can do this. Like, after all the cheating, after all the stuff. I just can't. I'm struggling. I tried my hardest. Anyway, guys, that's it from me today. I was surprised that I even was here for a video, because I was quite surprised. Subscribe, like, see you guys.